So, Dylan, we've known each other for a long time. Having you on the podcast is actually amazing. I feel like this might be one of the longest pre-talk sessions I've had in a long time. Like normally it's like, hey, let's just like chat for a little bit. We have so much in common. Dylan, for people who don't know anything about you, tell us just a little bit about who you are and what you do in this D2C space.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dylan. I'm the founder of heatmaps.com. You may have known me previously from splittesting.com. I'm the website dude, optimize websites. A lot of people out there run ads, they run email, they do SEO, they do a lot of things to drive traffic to a website, but no one makes money unless you're in TikTok Shop or Amazon on a website unless they click buy now. And the art of making them click buy now is what lights up my gears and what I do for fun on Saturday nights. So I also own a couple
Dylan, I would
brands.
also say you must be, sorry, we'll get more into that history, but like, I gotta say, you must be an incredible URL buyer as well. Like, both of those URLs, I'm like, those are $1 million URLs, like by a long shot, like just heatmap.com. Like, how'd you get that?
You want me to reveal it here first?
Yeah, please.
I've never shared it on a podcast. This is going to be like a solid 5 to 7 minutes. So just letting you know that that's what you're buckling in for.
Well, I think everyone who's listening to this has probably, has at least 100 URLs on GoDaddy or whatever your thing is. So most of us understand this, and this is the only story I want to hear all day. So
okay, cool. So I had to acquire an entire C-Corp to get the domain.
Include so was this a share purchase that you had to make, or like you couldn't just pull the asset out of the C-Corp?
So what happened was splittesting.com was kind of divine, where I was doing a brainstorming session. It was my old agency that I had exited first, was Nextcore Media, the entity I still kept, but I rebranded it to splittesting.com once we moved from paid ads and SEO over to split testing as a service, which we were super early to. But then for heatmaps.com, I'd been a CRO for almost 10 years at that point, and I've acquired 3 different companies through the same method of cold acquisition. If you know Snovio or Lucia or any of those Chrome extensions that just scrape emails, you can go to a domain and scrape everyone's email. What I do is my method of acquiring companies. I go to the website, I scrape all of the emails, and I write in brackets, urgent, must speak to founder.
Okay, and then, okay. I bet that you get a very good response from that.
8 for 8 responses within the first 6 hours. On 8 different companies, I've done it, and all 8 times they responded within 6 hours. Closest was 2 minutes. They're like, "Hey, sir, is everything okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, are you interested in selling your business?"
Oh, okay. So in the email, you don't even say what it's about. Just urgent, need to talk to founder. I have seen sales guys do this. Yeah. I've seen sales guys do this, and I will tell you, I get caught by it every single time. I'm like, "Oh yeah, of course I'll talk to you." Right? Oh, what's it about? Like that, I'll sometimes ask, and they're like, "Oh, it's something we need to work with you." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, all right, okay, I'll take the call."
Yep, 100%. It just always works. I don't know where it was. I think my dad gave me that advice. He's been in sales for years, and so I reached out and I said, "Hey, are you interested in selling your business or getting me the domain somehow if it's not mission critical?" Because I have a deep background in SEO, so I've been able to rank stuff. I've even been on GEO recently. I'm very, very into it. It keeps me up at night. I love it. So I spoke to them.
Sorry, GEO being
like gen engine optimization, ranking on LLMs. Yeah, I've been actually on heatmaps.com right now. We are ranking. We are getting good LLM traffic,
insane.
Directly.
But sorry, we're gonna jump all over the place here, and guys, we're gonna for D2C people out there. I think that this is Dylan and I are so overdue for a conversation. You know what I'm obsessed with right now, and I'm going to be building into this new tool that I was telling you about before, is social search, right? Social search optimization. I think there is a massive gap that I don't think anyone is filling yet. I know because I've been searching. I'm like, oh, what kind of partners can I work with here? Who can I plug into? There's nothing. The APIs are totally closed. There's nothing. Mm-hmm. So I think social search, especially I saw Neil Patel talk the other day where he was talking about how, awesome. All of you have all this ChatGPT traffic. He's like, social search is dwarfing any of that, right? That Google is taking right now. So, and I think about my own, my own millennial type of buying behavior. I'm like, that's exactly what I'm doing. Immediately I go to TikTok and search the product and look it up and see all these things. And so anyway, super interesting
TikTok
for
search
as we're
is
thinking
one of
about
the
the
biggest
future.
Search engines. I think it's the 4th biggest search engine in the world is TikTok's search button.
Crazy. Just crazy. And anecdotally, that is exactly what I do. And we're the ones who have the money now, right? In millennial land, or at least have the money, or at least it flows through us and tends to go out a lot.
Holding on for dear life.
So sorry, go on here with ranking.
Yeah, so no, so then I knew that like if I had the domain, like when I was splittesting.com, it's kind of like the Kleenex effect. Is that it's actually a formal marketing term, but the Kleenex effect. A tissue and a Kleenex became interchangeable. The
Totally.
company Xerox, hey, can you Xerox me that thing?
Uh-huh.
For
Uh-huh.
fax machines, if you remember. So to be like heat map or to say, hey, us it's split testing my agency, it's like you mean like the agency or like the service kind of thing. Like, no, like we are split testing. Like it's like there's this very just
It's so
funny thing about having the .com of an exact match domain, and then it's so easy to rank. The only channel that I did any marketing on my agency at splittesting.com was a hair of SEO. So we always came up at the top of split testing.
and that
That
was
is
just
the
buying
only,
backlinks or whatever.
no, just a couple of blogs, some good interlinks, some good site speed, just the little sprinkles that most people don't do at their website. So we did that as an acquisition engine as well. But like it was really just inbound for my Twitter, to be honest. And then on Heatmap, to finish out the story, um, I reached out to them. They said, yes, we're interested. We jumped on a call within like 18 hours. They were in France. I woke up early the next morning. They're like, hey, what do you need? Heatmap.com 2-ish years ago was a desktop only, click only click map, not even a scroll map. And it has been
Okay.
around since 2011,
Okay.
and they
Okay.
have done nothing with it. And the
Yeah.
story here, there was about $40,000 of EBITDA on the company, quote unquote.
Okay.
So they did $44,000 of revenue a year,
Okay.
if you can see
Okay.
how passive it is.
Yeah.
So I made an acquisition price. It was not two, it was above 250 and it wasn't 500, but it was somewhere in the middle of there that
Yeah.
I acquired with my personal money to make heatmap.com. I didn't use their
Ah,
software. We ditched their software. 0% of it is heatmap.com right now. But yeah, that's how I got the domain. It was a couple hundred grand.
only an SEO guy with that sort of basis would understand the value of that. And even like the way that you're looking at propping up another company like this based on this name and being like the Kleenex style. I think we inadvertently did that at Social Commerce Club. I just couldn't buy socialcommerce.com. But I knew I was like, I can see that this is like the next big thing, right? And again, I was telling you before, like I was bored after the one brand went under and then we sold the last brand. And I was like, what are we going to do here? What's cool in the space? And this is where I came upon all this stuff. Dylan, let's get into the transition recently from your agency. So you sold the agency.
Yes.
And then were you already on Heatmap? Were you already starting that sort of journey? And where were you like as far as software was concerned? I'm interested because, I'm doing my first software project right now. And obviously,
Mhm.
I've done the brand thing a bunch of times, done the agency thing a few times. Software. Like where did that fit in your journey?
So I've been coding since I was younger. I'm not a coding whiz. I'm not an engineering wizard. I'd probably call myself like a 6 to 6.5 out of 10 developer.
Okay.
I can set up backend infrastructure, vibe coding. I can kind of build whatever simple stuff we want. So like I'm a baseline, uh, you know, technical founder, and like
Yeah.
for like a CRO agency, it's very complicated to execute on split tests. Dare I say, it's even you have to be more technical to run a CRO agency than to run a development agency,
Oh, interesting. Wow.
because like you now have to make all that code work inside of a third party editor and the website
Mm,
and know what to use on each. It's far more advanced than just changing the website. That would have been 10 times easier,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
then you're
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
split testing. So I think just like you, 2014 was my first Shopify store.
Yeah.
That was like in sophomore year of college. I actually sold it before I graduated. Had another one I started while that one was growing. Sold that one just after I graduated again. Then made my first big swing on a brand that I wasn't drop shipping. Lost all my money. Went back to roots. Built up SEO. I had Geico, Planet Fitness, 24-hour fitness. Like I just always had my hands to back me up. I had my brain and my hands to back me up, which is something I urge everyone to have. Which is, if all goes to crap today, I can pick up my laptop. I can go on Figma. I can go and code split tests. I can go and
Yeah.
run ads.
Yeah.
I can go and do SEO. I can do that with my hands because I built up those skills over the years. So I'll always be okay. And because I had that ability, I feel like I've been able to get more agile as I've gone into SaaS. The main thing that's been the hardest transition is I'm used to working my face off to make a couple $100,000 a month, not lose a couple $100,000 a month. That has been the most crazy, mind-boggling thing to ever even consider. Like, why am I working like I'm 21 years old again to
Yeah,
lose cash? It is
because
so
agencies are
absurd.
cash machines, right? Especially if you go from an agency, right? Like you are cash flow positive generally from day one, right? Like you, and then you can build up and you're able to make this. I think it's an incredible business model. If no one's listened yet to Andrew Ferris's recent interview with Taylor Holiday, it's like a must listen for anyone in this space, realizing like, oh yeah, it's funny. Like Taylor and I's story are just so similar with like in so many
Yeah.
ways of like, you go the brand route and you're like, wait, why did we made $1 million last year and there's no cash in the bank? Where the heck is all of it? Right? Like comparatively to the agency model, which is like, figure out a really good service that you can actually give a lot of value on. And then it's just people costs, right? And now in the world of AI, I really truly believe that there's going to be this massive arbitrage on AI together with expertise, right? That puts this together. That I think is super interesting.
I have a hot take around there. Where do we want to go? Like, I feel like we could talk forever, brother. Like, what areas do we want to talk in? Because the future collapse of services and AI is a big topic I talk about all the time. It's a big one. If you want to get more tactical and practical, if you want to get more high level trends we're seeing, you call the shots. 'Cause
So let's get into why heat map, right? What did you see in the market? I want to get into that a little bit because I'm super interested. As everybody knows over the years, like I am obsessive with tools, right? Like I was the guy who had like 100 Shopify apps in our Shopify stores, right? Because I was just obsessive with trying, because I really truly believe, and I think this is what we all see with AI, right? Like the more of these tools you can use, the more higher leverage. Obviously, you saw something in this category and you wouldn't be, doing the software thing, investing a couple $100,000 a month right now if you didn't believe that this tool is actually going to fundamentally solve some sort of issue. And that's what I'm super interested in, right? Like for people out there who don't know, I have consulted with, I think it's 13 SaaS founders now, and I've advised this year people who are a little more junior than Dylan. Though actually one of them, his last company he took public, and it's worth like $6 billion on the stock exchange. So that was a fun one to get to advise, but that's only because he didn't know the Shopify ecosystem. I love this. I love this space more than anything. I love this space. And so when you came to me and Heatmap came to me, I was like, dude, I want to have this conversation. I want to understand what you were seeing there that maybe I'm not seeing.
So a lot of people at first, so heat maps are tools that have been around forever, but they've been click maps. They're not really heat maps. The main thing around heat maps is like you kind of have a bucket. So I have my book called $1 Billion Websites coming out in about 2 months. And
Okay.
I have the framework of the $1 billion funnel, the $1 billion data funnel. And it's effectively like you have your qualitative research of your customer feedback surveys, your post purchase surveys, you have your heat map data, screen recording data, website analytics, meaning like page by page, like your typical GA. That was kind of all of it. The first impetus that I had was okay, all the big tech companies are no longer taking care of the ecom community, meaning ecom is a market share at Meta of how much they make, not as much as it previously was. Same for Google. Same for all of these. And guess what? Google sunsetted Google Optimize.
It's part of my questions I have up here too, is like, where did that
And
come into
then
play? Because I think tons of us were using that.
brother, I was running about close to $1 billion of ecom revenue a year through Google Optimize.
Wow, through Optimize, crazy.
Yeah, all through Google Optimize. And yeah, so they got rid of that. Then I was actually brought in, my NDA is expired now, so I can talk about it. I was actually brought in for GA4 consulting, like by Google. So they reached out to me
Great
and I
job,
was,
Dylan. You did an awesome job.
oh, you let me finish. You let me finish. And between the tea leaves, the problem was that, like, I said, well, why don't we do this? They're like, we wish we could. We wish we could. We wish we could. What does that mean? Compliance. If you remember, Universal Analytics was banned in 5 European countries. That is why the change
Oh,
to GA4 happened on a user basis, not on a session basis. So I said,
gotcha.
okay, I need this infrastructure. Because right now, Jordan West said, Dylan, I need split testing in 3 months on heatmap.com, I could make split testing. If you told me you wanted an MMM, I have most of the infrastructure. You
Yeah.
told me you wanted like anything. Like this is the hard, like analytics are objectively, and people can disagree, maybe beyond like, LLM models and foundational models, but like in this ecom tech space, there's very few things that are more complicated than having proper analytics, especially on a website and especially for e-commerce because B2B is way easy. So I was like, cool, I'm going to go towards that. And on heat maps, I realized like, okay, I run these split tests side by side. No one in the world knows why a test won. So that is why I built this. It's
Mm.
because you have variant A and variant B, but you don't know, okay, like, yes, I changed my hero from a man to a woman, or, to front facing model to side model, whatever it might be, right? Or change the headline. And
Yeah.
that's the change. Maybe your AOV changed, your conversion rate went down a little bit, but AOV went up, your revenue per session changed, whatever. But cool, there are some integrations that they have, but like, what else do you know? You
Totally.
don't know
Yeah.
why a split test won. So my vision for heat map was cool. I need data down to the pixel. So we actually have a tech patent on something called arbitrary pixel regions, meaning no, you can tell me like 700 to 392. And on that pixel, I can query my database for that exact singular pixel and everything that happened with that pixel on a screen in a session. That's the level of granularity of data that we have. So now I knew, okay, let's get it really affordably priced. People had told me we should 10x our price. I said, well, the 10x value is going to be in our data that we have. We have no cookies, no PII, so we don't have end user data. So we can use and mix, mash, bash, and everything together. That we have AI insights that just tell you how to make more money, right? Like it's based on, trillions of data points, like getting to
Mm.
quadrillions. So we have all of that data. It's actually a data play, team. Like it's a front end data platform. Guess what? It's back end data too. So we
Yeah.
have data of every single type of user. Cool. How do Google users behave down to where they hover their finger on the phone? I
Mm.
have that.
Yeah.
People who come from Meta that are first time make a purchase for an AOV above your standard AOV. I have that data. I know what they do. I can query it like literally live on this call and figure it out. So it's like having this access to all this big behavioral data. My end goal was like, cool, like no ego amigo, billions in experience. How about I'm just able to facilitate and shepherd this to my users?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now we have hundreds and hundreds of variants of rules that can get triggered that are all AI. Like we have agents crawling the site, looking at the data, going through everything, and not the fancy word of the agent, blah, blah, blah. But like it just tells you what to do. Like, hey, your revenue per click. And we also invented two net new numbers that don't exist as
Tell me about
metrics:
those.
revenue per click, or ERPC per element. It's element level revenue per click and element level revenue per session. No one else
Explain.
has that right now.
Ex-
So if 10 people click your navigation and one of
mm-hmm.
them go on to buy for $100, you had a $10 revenue per click on your navigation. But
Gotcha.
now let's say 10 people purchased and then or 10 people clicked on the hero button and one person bought for $50. That's a $5 revenue per click. If that's your
Gotcha.
data, you want people to hit the navigation, not the hero button.
Gotcha. Got.
So now we have element level data that's what our AI tells. We had to build a true machine learning algorithm from scratch to know with a raw JSON file, this is your announcement bar, this is your hero image, this is a product gallery, this is whatever. And no one knows how to code a website the right way. So it's all broken HTML and CSS anyways. But we can, without using open AIs like Vision or any of that kind of stuff, we can go through and with like machine learning, like it's a neural naming network of every single element on a site. Then we have the data associated with it, and then we can feed you an AI insight saying, hey, FAQ number 3 is underperforming on revenue per click. Go rearrange the question or remove it from your FAQ altogether. And
So
that's where we are as a company.
have you found one of these two new metrics that you've looked into being a better leading indicator than other metrics that we've been tracking in the past?
They're different, and there's a reason I have them. There's a third one I'm going to be introducing, which is revenue per view, meaning if someone saw something or not. It's another tricky part of split tests, right? So if someone saw something or not, how much revenue did it make? So
Which is very
revenue per click.
interesting. Like I think views as a metric is such an underutilized metric. We all talk about like view through conversions, right? It's like, oh, I don't trust view through conversions. Like, sorry,
Mhm.
what? Like, I think about this like example. This was actually a couple of years ago, but I just talk about this example because it happens so friggin' often where I will see something, I will tell my wife about it, and then she will go and buy it, right? I just saw an ad. Oh, hey, by the way, Disney on Ice is coming. Take our girls,
That's
right?
brilliant. What an
Like,
analogy.
and it's so normal, right? And so what on our side, it's funny because I'm asking you a lot of questions through the lens of this new tool that I'm making right now, or that I acquired and slash I'm going to make better. And the whole idea, the premise behind it is that the halo from TikTok Shop over to Amazon and Facebook ads over to Amazon is so much bigger than anybody realizes, right? Like, you have to, if you're in the trenches, you understand, you're like, it's just such this massive halo over there. And I think that the correlation is between views of product, right? Or views of affiliate videos on TikTok Shop specifically, and sales over on Amazon. I don't even think that it goes into click and look at the product. I think that it's the correlation is actually on the view side. So sorry, big thing all to say, like, I love that this is something that you're going to be able to track. How in the world can you track that? Are you just doing it per view of element, per view of page? Like, what does that look like?
There's nothing on a website we can't track. That took a year and a half to make with 32 developers.
Crazy. So what are you then telling, like, how, there's a few things I want to get into, just FYI, that my red meat after is going to be pricing, because I think SaaS pricing is just the funnest conversation, and
That
I
is
get
the
so mad at
hardest.
people.
That is the hardest thing I've done. I've been a founder for 14 years. This is my 8th business. The hardest exercise I've ever had to do as a founder is fucking SaaS pricing. It is so crazy. It is so hard. It kept me up for months.
Do you know what the best platform in the world, in I think it was like 2018 or something, when like I used to talk to the founder all the time with my first brand, was Gorgeous. You know
Yeah.
who everyone hates now? Gorgeous, because they charge so much money. Like, it's funny because it's like, it's still the best product on the market. Like, I know, like, I'll talk about Rich Panel, and I'll talk about Supermoon is another really cool like AI version of that. Gorgeous is still the best product out there, but it's the pricing. Like, as soon as you bring the pricing conversation in, you're like, screw those guys, right? Like, what a hard conversation to have, right? Is it every industry? I just don't know. I've been in ecom for so long that I feel like we all hate on this pricing. It must be every industry.
So it is. It's just that the tolerance in other companies is much different for software because we are techie people, right? Like, think about a lawyer having to say, "Oh, I don't have to think about that. That's a $2,000 problem."
Yeah.
In ecom, $2,000 problem, you better
Yeah.
be a big problem.
Yeah.
That if I gave heatmap.com the equivalent to a law firm, they would be willing to charge pay 8 to 10x what an ecom brand of similar revenue allocation, whatever you want to put it as, right? EBITDA, whatever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like, it's pretty crazy. And I knew that ecom would be a harder market to hit first, but it is my roots. It gave me my lifelong wealth. It gave me my ability to do this. And I was hitting ecom first. It's also where my network lives. So I was doing ecom, but we're going to be able to move to not just ecom, but outside to go to B2B, but also
Huge.
multimodal. Think about it. A website is not the end of the buying journey. The LLM chat interface is also not the end of the buying journey. The eyeballs are the end of the buying journey.
Say more about that.
VR, AR, you can look all the way into the future. Think of how far away buying can be. You can take a look at analytics into there. Analytics will always exist for the rest of forever. And that was my other generational play that I made here.
Interesting. So tell me what action. So we're going to get into pricing in the future here in a little bit. Before that, tell me, what do brands do with the data then, right? Like, so I think that we've all been trapped by analytics tools that were like, okay, great, now we can use this. Like, what do we actually do with it? Like, what was that next play that you had with that, Dylan?
So we built this really advanced, we're the only revenue-based heat map in the world. We have revenue on every single element on your website. So you know what elements are more valuable to click versus not. Go optimize for those versus just clicks. Clicks are empty. Your boss is never going to be happy that you're saying, hey, I got more people to click on this element. Well, did it make money? I don't know. So we solved that problem right there. Number two, it was a really awkward conversation. I'll give the business level because it seems like we're less tactics, more business sharing level. One of the hardest conversations I ever had to do was my Q1 board meeting. I'm new to venture. I've only been a VC backed guy with a board for a year, less than a year. And I had spoken about some crazy algorithmic testing of automating the whole future and all that kind of stuff. And then that's what I raised money on. I raised $4 million on it. And then only way you know is by building and being in the market and with customers every day. So then I decided no one has replaced GA4 for e-commerce. We built this backbone. This is the whole reason I built this backbone and took this direction. Okay, let's do it. So it took us about 4 months. And now for $29 a month, no matter how big your brand is, the e-com brand can get good old universal analytics back. It's a $29 plan on heatmap.com. It doesn't even scale with pricing. Like True Classic can sign up for $29 a month. It's
Interesting. That's an
effectively,
interesting customer acquisition play.
I'll give you the most fascinating one. This is almost like a SaaS podcast at this point. It's kind of crazy. So
We got some SaaS listeners here.
if anyone wants to understand, we're not terrible people on the other side, we promise.
Yeah.
So what's fascinating, if you guys, so to marketers of all types, go check out the McDonald's pricing theory. It is exactly what I predicated my current pricing on. I'm not going to go into it, but you guys have to go look up the McDonald's pricing strategy because they're trying to sell mediums. They're not trying to sell smalls or larges. They're optimizing for selling as many medium drinks as possible. That's where
I'm
they make
going
their
to look
margin.
it up right after this. I don't know. I don't know
Oh,
it by that name. So
use it for every single one of your clients in ecom. If you're bundling, if you're making offers, please use it. It's amazing. It's magical. So the offer, sales is a decent part of what we do, but it's all inbound sales. It's about maybe 20% of our revenue and 80% is touchless. But before we were just one tombstone saying, hey, do you want heat maps and recordings? Now we have surveys, we have funnels, we have web analytics. We're a whole form now, So like
yeah.
we have the $29 offer. They have to buy now.
Yeah.
It's not a free trial. If you
Gotcha.
want to start at the
So they have to
149,
right away. They got to put their card in.
but now for the 149, which is the start, if you're up to 10 million a year in revenue, if that's your
Yeah.
brand size, it's 149 a month, and there is a 14-day free trial with it. But you do have to put in your card anyways, but it's at least a free trial. It's an honest, earnest
Yeah.
free trial. We're very forward about it. Like, there's 149, 14-day free trial, put in your card, like it's very simple. But what we thought is 80-90% of the new customers, our average is about like, $180 per customer is like average. Cause like we have some people paying, 35, 4,500 a month,
Yeah.
based on usage. 84% of our new customers buy the full package right away. They don't start on the 29, which has
McDonald's
been
pricing.
McDonald's pricing, the medium. They're going for it. We have the enterprise package that they've dropped to sales with the $29 one that seems kind of appealing, but it is very nice. They're like, yeah, I'll try it for 14 days, see if I like both of them. Because we also are heatmap.com, and that way people don't want to come to heatmap.com for just web analytics, right? So it's kind of, part of the whole puzzle you put together, So
If you guys
it's
are listening to this, I wish you could see Dylan every time he says heatmap.com. There is like a little wink and a gun. And I haven't done the wink and the gun enough lately. And I'm in a new city, actually, guys. I moved.
Ooh.
And so I'm wondering at what point I'm going to be able to do a wink and a gun out in the city. I'm going to
I think
test
you
it.
just did one.
I'm testing it right here. I'm testing it. It's not quite natural yet. So
Yeah, that's where we've gotten to. It's been really cool. And then our sales calls have tripled since the launch.
incredible by introducing this universal analytics takeover or replacement, essentially. I mean, you're
It's a
replacing
GA4
nothing, but yeah.
replacement. Like honest, our best performing ad is so ugly. You can go look at our channel. It's like in ecom, hate GA4, click here. That
Yeah.
is our best converting ad by a long shot.
So you guys are trying to get the word out right now, right? For heatmap.com. We're working together, guys, just like where you're going to be seeing some stuff coming from me of digging more into this platform, talking more about it. Where do you see this going? Like what does this next thing look like? Because I feel like you had a pretty decent exit from what I heard at the agency. I'm assuming you don't need to do this anymore. Is that right?
I love the game. I
Who
don't
doesn't, man? Like, dude.
A lot of people, most people, you'd be shocked. You'd be shocked at how few people really love the game to the level that we do, Jordan. You'd be really, really, really mind blown. We're in a very closed circle. You get to interview amazing founders and brilliant career people all the time. It's very
Yeah.
rare that people don't love the game. It's very rare that people love the game as much as we do. Look, I don't have FU money. I'm not going on PJs. Still got holes in my socks. Like I drive a Volkswagen Jetta. It's like pretty normal stuff. Like I'm just a dude, right? Like I'm getting married next month. Like got a golden doodle. Like, like we're all people. It's like, yes, I did exit for a very nice amount of money. It's no FU money. It's definitely covered my parents' house. They no longer have a mortgage. Very proud. I am looking at nicer homes and that type of stuff. So like I had like a quality of life bump and a very nice safety net for my future children that I don't have yet. So yeah, I love the
Can I just
game.
say
I
to
came back.
everyone, I just want to say to everyone, including you, Dylan, because you brought it up, go have kids. Having kids is the greatest thing. I have three, fourth on the way, which is crazy.
Congrats.
My oldest is 12. So having a fourth now, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we're doing it. But like, it's the greatest thing you'll ever do. And like, I just cannot say enough good things about it. And it's funny because I've heard so many of these like founders that are like, I'm 39. I don't know how old you are, Dylan.
30.
Oh, I didn't realize you were my junior so much here. Oh my gosh.
Just turned 30.
I've been obsessive lately just because I really do think like the most game changing, world changing, there's two people that are changing our world right now and that I think will be known, in the next 500 years, Elon and Sam. And it's so interesting because both of them are so into, like Sam Altman says, like, oh, I just got the kid pill. Right? They had their first kid. He's talking all about it. Every single interview. I got kid pilled. I got kid pilled. And then you've got Elon on the other side who was kid pilled a long time ago.
A
And
long time
it's
ago.
I just think it's such an interesting, I don't know, all of this stuff is so interesting to me, all like the human element of it. And I think it was actually Sam Altman who I heard talking about this recently on a podcast, where he said there was a point where he realized that there was no adults, right? There was nobody running things. And it's like, oh, shit, we're the ones running things. We are the ones, like, it's no one else besides us. Like, even like when we're on Twitter, like there's no like person like pulling the strings. It's just like all of us kind of together, like in the ant colony. And if you love the game, I think that's what it comes down to is like, so look at just one more example here. I think of Sam Altman. I didn't realize that before OpenAI, he was already a billionaire from YC, right? Like he's got no reason to do any of this financially, right? Like there's no like everyone's like, yeah, he's just doing it for the money. It's like, and Elon doing it for the money. It's like, I don't think anyone realizes when you have $10 million in your bank account, you're fine. You're good. You're good. You don't need any more. Like there's no like actual need of anything, right? So
I'd say the number is closer to 4 to 4.5. Any incremental money will not have a material difference in your life unless you have a material taste.
there are some of those, and I can imagine in New York even more so that
Yes,
the
it is expensive
cost.
here. It is expensive here. Yeah.
So let's just go back and land here on heatmap because I'm super interested to see where exactly, what are the kinds of brands, if some brands are listening to this and like, this sounds super interesting, Dylan. I want to go check out what you're building. Who are those brands? Who should go check it out? Is this going to replace some tools potentially? Are there some like other tools out there that you think that will get replaced? And then we are getting into pricing, just so you know, before we end here, because I want to have a big long talk about this because your pricing's
Deal
insane.
and deal. So to my econ friends out there, this is a web and behavioral analytics tool for ecom only. F the B2B people. I could be making a lot more money. This is for my ecom friends right now. So
Yeah.
anyone in ecom, it doesn't do Amazon or TikTok Shop, but it's on your own website. If you guys have any CMS, by the way, we're not a Shopify plugin. It's any CMS. So if you guys are selling on an ecom store, you need to go get heat map at least the $29 a month. Like I will personally refund you guys if you don't find tremendous value in the AI insights there. Like, hey, your drop off on your PDPs the past 2 weeks have been really bad. Go check it out. You're driving a lot of Facebook traffic over there. I don't know, like having something proactively tell you that once in a while is going to probably, give a positive ROI. You might even find a bug. Like a lot of our clients report that from our AI insights, they see something, they go and find a bug on their website. So guess what?
Wow.
Now we have revenue loss from bugs coming up and you'll get alerted right away. That's coming out in the next like 2-3 weeks. So that's another big one too. So yeah, that's really like the big kind of like, long and the short of it. Anyone in ecom that understands that ads don't make you money, they're a cost. They're not making you money. Your website is what you click to make money. Then yes, you should sign up for heatmap.
Said by a true CRO person. Love it. Dylan, before we go, a conversation I have to have is around SaaS pricing because we've all seen, I think all of our very favorite software apps we all just loved at the beginning. Klaviyo was one of them. I remember the moment that I switched from MailChimp to Klaviyo, by the way, guys. I think it was like 2018 or something like that, or 2019, somewhere in there when MailChimp had their breaking up with Shopify. And I remember I was on a beach in Hawaii. I remember the exact area where I was, and I switched over to Klaviyo. I was like, this is the greatest tool ever. And for some reason, and still the greatest email tool. It doesn't matter what anyone says. It's still the best email tool. But I freaking hate
Objectively.
their pricing. I hate their price. I hate how much they've nickeled and dimed every single little thing. I remember when they came to me with their SMS, when they were coming out with SMS, and it was 7 cents an SMS. And I was like, screw you guys. I'm like, it's a commodity. What are you talking about? This is a commodity. Why are you charging me this? And that was the moment when I was like, Klaviyo. So all that being said, let's talk about SaaS pricing here before we go.
Totally. So I'll actually give you my journey on it. So when I had ye old heatmap.com MVP, had a couple of people on beta, and we were burning some AWS credits. And what a lot of SaaS companies say is like, well, like the more usage, the more expenses we have. It's not really true. It is and it isn't. For us as a data acquisition like engine, if you think about us, our platform, yes, it does take more. Like for, players, skims, or true classic to sign up versus, a local mom and pop store, it objectively costs us more. Not
Totally.
that
Yeah.
exponential amount, but you want to know what is exponential? If I need extra devs to go and assist on their account, if I need additional account managers to go support that account because they're so big and such power users, if I need to dedicate time to go literally build features for them specifically that ultimately are for everyone, but like the amount that it takes to service that type of customer is more than any of you guys think because you all get treatment, good treatment from the platforms you're with, or at least for people to claw their way up. Like from us, we started at $47 or $89 in beta. Everyone thought we were a scam. A bunch of people came on. 60% of people left in like 2 months. Number one, because they should have. The software was super shitty. It was really bad when it started. It's hard. I just needed customers to like test it because heat maps are all about edge cases and solving all these edge cases because everyone can fuck up a website in their own unique way, So it's like getting them to just render the right way is borderline impossible. So like, shout out to my devs. 47 and 89. I'm like, okay, I just got like 300 new customers. That's 6 grand a month. Not a lot of money. Got it. I see. Okay, cool. But I made that conscious sacrifice knowing you need signal and data. If you guys are media buyers out there, if you don't put money into an ad, you can't expect, even if you think it's the best creative you ever made in your life, you can't expect to know, like Facebook or Meta has to go know, Google has to know, TikTok has to know which creatives are good by testing it, right? So I
Yeah.
needed a test. I needed people using it, what they wanted, telling me. So I just wanted as much signal as I possibly could get. And I knew I was operating on the back foot at this pricing. So then I moved it up to 89 as the bottom option. Then I had it there and I had 117 for a while as the bottom option. Us ending in 7 versus, 117 is a lot easier than 119. It's actually, a proven principle. I went back on my principles in McDonald's theory. And then now, because we have enough
Sorry, is
features,
that actually true? The 7? I actually
yes,
didn't know that principle.
yep,
In
100%.
just is that like a overarching
In
pricing principle?
intangibles, if you remember, all of the info products were like 1997 or 997 a month. Think back to
Interesting.
those info product
Yeah.
days.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
All with sevens. So there's even more pricing for you. So yeah, then we were there. Then the platform actually got like pretty good, honestly, top of this year, like end of last year. And then it came as we then broke it out into pricing that we had it at like, it's usage based. So like the larger your company is, the more it costs.
Yeah.
And I hate that relationship is the way it needs to be. I have a whole way of, I know what the future of SaaS pricing will be. I don't have the ability to support it at the moment. It will in the future. But like right now, we have to, scale, but I scale very kindly, meaning like a lot of people go like this, like really high. Like the second you go from like 50 to 70 million, boom, you get hit. And to be
Yeah.
honest, there's a lot of people that pay way less than they should on the platform that lied about their numbers, but I don't have their retro data. And I don't go and correct them. I don't auto push people up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could be making probably, my top line could maybe be 8% bigger right now, but my churn is not half bad because I take care of my people. They see the prices and they locked it in. And I'm like, if like I have a message, if you leave, you're going to be, pushed back to our new pricing. Do you want to leave? That's
Yeah.
the only place where I ever enforce is if they
Yeah.
leave. But if they're with
Yeah.
us, part of the heat map gang, I say it all the time, and they're part of the heat map gang. Cool. No problem. We got you covered. So now we finally got to this journey of, the freemium or not, because Google Analytics is free. We were making an e-commerce Google Analytics replacement product. Everyone's like, what the heck are you talking about, Dylan? This thing has to be free. It's got to be free. Like, why would anyone switch from GA over to this? Because GA4 sucks for e-com. It was never even built for e-commerce. Like, it's for
Yeah.
B2B. They don't
Yeah.
care about the e-com segment. There's no AOV. It's ARPPU in Google Analytics. Average purchase price per user, or average revenue purchase per user, is AOV in
Yeah.
Google Analytics. There's no way to override the setting. So like, it's clearly there's a big like area that no one's taking care of our ecom team on web analytics. Not
Yeah.
even Hotjar, not Microsoft Clarity, none of those companies are taking care of our team.
Yeah.
So I'm taking care of our team on the web analytics side. So I decided $19 was going to be that intro price for that product. 4 or 5 days before the big launch, my team hated me because we had to go in and change all the materials. I had to re-record videos myself just for the decision to make it
Wow.
$29 a month as the intro because I decided to go for quality over quantity, even though that's the difference. And today, it is a legendary metric in SaaS, the golden SaaS metric, meaning spend every single dollar in your bank account. If 10% of your bottom plan people upgrade, you have the most insane business unit economics. Even though it's not the biggest portion of our business, to date, for the past 2 months, 28% of people that sign up for our 29 sign up for 149 and up, touchless without even touching the sales.
Wow.
And they have a free
Wow.
trial
That's
too.
incredible. Yeah.
So like we care about products, we take care of our people, we put them in Slack channels, we talk to them, we take care of community beyond just the software. We're not a code base, we're a team, we're crew, we're on the same team. It's not on the opposite sides of the fence. There's a code base in between us, but we're same team. It's not a
Yeah.
code base,
Yeah.
company and a team.
I love it. Dylan, I got a couple more questions for you before we go. This has been super fun, by the way. Thank you. I feel like, again, we probably could talk for like actual hours upon hours. Normally I do half-hour interviews. We're already at 45 here. But I do have a couple more questions. What is your biggest contrarian belief right now in analytics?
Are you ready?
Yeah.
So right now, data is nothing. Data is not true or false. There's not correct data or incorrect data. People think, oh, well, this is my revenue and this is correct or this is incorrect, right? So all the mismatch between the tools, I've gotten so in the guts that why doesn't my Shopify match my GA4 and heatmap.com looks different, as does Triple Whale and as does this? They all look different. The reason is there's different definitions. There's no universal definition of a session. If I asked you, Mr. Jordan West, what is a session? How would you define a session on a website?
I would just define it as like that one time that I went to that tab and we're scrolling on that one time during a session. And then if I went back to it again in Chrome.
So you X'd out of it and came back in?
No.
Or you did?
I would think it's a new session, even if I didn't X out. But
so
it was
there
up.
You go. So that's called an idle window. That's called an idle time. So there are literally about 30 to 40 facets and conscious decisions that we made as a company as to what we feel is the best definition of a session for your analytics. So a lot of people have 30-minute idle windows. For me, I chose to do a 15-minute idle window. If you're telling me that a screen is open and 15 minutes go by and nothing changes on the screen and then it magically starts going again, you're telling me those aren't two separate sessions, that it has to be 30 minutes? I think 15 is better. And that's even contrarian to have a platform with a 15-minute idle window. So there's cookie timeouts. There's engagement time. If someone bounces on and comes immediately off, everyone says server-side tracking is the best thing in the world. Bull crap. It's not. I'm actually happy to be a client-side tracking software now because all the bots, spam, traffic, all that stuff, the instant bounces, right? So you're on a Facebook ad, they're scrolling up and down. You click, you hit back immediately, you didn't mean to. But the URL loaded, guess who counts that? Shopify and Triple Whale and most analytics tools. Not putting them down for it. It is part of the whole thing. But for web analytics, we are behavior. We care what people do on their website. So I actually don't want most sessions on my platform. So we traditionally come in 7 to 11% lower because it's junk traffic. We also filter aggressively for spam and bots. So if you look at Shopify session count and our session count, we're going to be about 8 to 9% lower on average
Oh,
than that
interesting.
number. And
Yeah.
that is done proudly by design and by intention, and also really frustrating to explain to customers because they don't always get it. So that is the reason why I don't want junk traffic. Like you don't want to influence someone's behavior who landed on a page and think that an element is less important than it is because people happen to like go in, or maybe there's a bug or something else. There's so much reason. So GA4, the reason it counts low, it has a 10-second engagement time. If you're not on a page for 10 seconds, Google Analytics doesn't count it as a session. For us, it's 5 seconds.
Interesting.
So I decided if someone's on a website for 5 full seconds, it's an arbitrary number. Like, well, actually, no, I did a bunch of research. I looked at our own bell curve of data and made that decision of 5 seconds. It's really
Yeah.
like 4.9 seconds actually, but like, it's around there. So for them, they have 10 seconds, which to me always seemed arbitrary. I looked at the data, 4.9 seconds, so 5 seconds. So now we showed naturally a little bit more than GA, little bit less than Shopify because they're counting everything. So it's like now you probably understand. I wish I could. Maybe I even send this to customers later on, to be honest, and slice this back. But this is why your heat map data looks a little bit different. And people also, Shopify is there for business reporting. I'm not hating on Shopify whatsoever, by the way. Amazing company. Use them for everything. I recommend. They are the best CMS
Totally.
for
None of us would be
e-commerce
here without
by far.
Shopify.
And I
Yeah.
love it. And for them, they're reporting on your business. When you have subscriptions, that's not in your revenue, or that's in your revenue for Shopify. You have POS sales, you have shop app sales, that's all your e-commerce business, but none of that is behavioral. None of them touched your website in any of those
Totally.
ones I just mentioned.
Yeah.
So it's very different reporting. So for people to come to Heatmap to go optimize their website and to go to Shopify to look at your business metrics,
Yeah.
that is what it
Yeah.
is. That every platform, there's no definition of a session, and every platform is different. Even though it's looking at the identical data, you're just not well educated enough to understand what these data platforms are doing.
Go. One more question. One hire that you have made that is next heat map.
Oof. My first one I say half jokingly, which is my personal assistant. That's been a tremendous improvement. I love Jules. Shout out, she's amazing. The real text. So we actually have 32 developers based in Ghana and a few in Nigeria. So they're all 10x engineers, and the form 10x engineer is a term.
Totally.
There's so many people I wouldn't be here without. The recent one, like Karina Monroe, our VP of marketing, she's my number two. If I got hit by a bus, she'd be the CEO tomorrow. And she doesn't, whether she knows that or not, or listen to this podcast or not, I don't know. But like, she's been outstanding. I've always been a direct response, aggressive money in, money out kind of guy. Marketing SaaS, way different. All these people that are upset about sponsorships and the posts and the triple whale drama and all this stuff, like, guys, like we're marketing too. You guys are marketing. You guys are also doing influencer marketing. We are too. What's wrong with that? I don't get it.
Dude,
I don't really get
I
it.
made this post around the triple whale thing the other day. You know what I said? I said, I'm just mad triple whale didn't get a hold of me. I used to be their top affiliate. Why did I not get asked on the triple whale one? I'm like, all of you, it's such bullshit on Twitter. Everyone gets mad about this. And I'm like, one of you put up your hand and tell me that you don't use influencers in your marketing. Like one of you tell me that you don't. That is like the core strategy of everyone, what they do. I don't even understand how people are getting upset about this. It's like, this is, and also for people with podcasts, hey everyone, we have sponsors. Like it's not a bad thing. This is part of the system. There's reach that people have, and there's certain voices that people have. And I'm super proud when I get to work with a company. And again, like there's one recently, I just want to let everyone know, I'm not going to tell you who it is. There's one recently that I really wish I wouldn't have worked with because I don't believe in their, and I thought that I did before. And I don't want to call them out here but I'm sure we all know who it is. Someone who is overhyped before they've built, and just a product that I just think is absolute garbage. And but I think that they're going to get there one day. So just throwing that out there. What's one question that you wish I would have asked you but didn't?
What I do for fun outside of work, because I'm a human.
What a better question. I know you asked me this at first. Like, hey, let's just talk like humans.
Yeah. I lived on a commune for a couple of years, actually. I lived with, energy healers, shamans, and all that. That was my full environment for 3 years. Northern San Diego. Yep. And
that's so cool.
That's, I can be a very forward businessman and a very aggressive marketer. I don't know, I'm just a dude. You're a dude.
Oh,
just people.
Yeah.
We're just people. So yeah, that's the question. I played tennis in college, so I played tennis a lot. Love tennis. I make music. I was actually a full time songwriter back when I was like ripping drop shipping stores. I
No
was
way.
signed with Warner. I've written a bunch of like pop songs and stuff, and I'm the biggest Deadhead. I've seen Fish or the Grateful Dead probably like 100 times. Like I'm all about it. I play in 2 jam bands currently, so I make music, I play tennis, and I optimize websites, and I have a golden doodle and a fiance. So that's my whole life all together. And that is more of me.
Just the commute, just for 1 second. So like what have you pulled from that into your everyday life? Like going from that in northern San Diego to the biggest metropolis in the world. What have you pulled like into your like daily practices?
So I think it's just who I am. I think it's just how I act, your so fifth dimensional nature and your like third dimensional meat suit, right? Like your body.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
just they play together, and how I've trained it over the years. I kind of just am who I am in all times, everywhere,
Mm.
towards
Yeah.
everyone, the same way. Maybe that's a very New York mindset because I did grow up in Long Island in New York, like right, just maybe
Oh, you
like
did?
3, 4 miles out there. Yeah, I
Yeah.
grew up over there. Not, I didn't grow up in Manhattan proper. I grew up in Long Island, but New Yorker nonetheless, born and raised. So always been a New Yorker. Coming back, like I lived in Nashville for years, San Diego, LA, like did some Euro trips and stuff, and I lived in a lot of spots. But it's not like a necessarily like a practice or a single thing I do. Journaling, plant medicine ceremonies, every type of ceremony, like I've done every single one of them. But like it's really just how I've developed as a human and who I am today is what's been most impactful. So
Hmm.
no one like thing per se, just kind of made me who I am.
I appreciate you connecting and I appreciate you coming on here, Dylan. And I'm so glad that we got to finally talk. Like,
I
when
know,
else would we
way
have the chance
overdue.
to chat for an hour like this? And
Amazing.
maybe a few thousand people listen. That's my hope.
Sounds amazing. To everyone listening, we appreciate you. I hope you guys have a beautiful day. I think I just jacked the outro accidentally.
I'm in for it. I'm
um,
in for it, please.
Drink water. Make sure you walk if you can't exercise. Stay healthy and lead with love.
And that is that. Thank you everyone so much for listening and have a great day.